Welcome to the School of Love, the place where miracles are normal. Hello and welcome to the School of Love, the place where we learn practical tools based on scientific research and our own experiences towards improving ourselves, living life to its fullest, and contributing to the best of our abilities to the world around us. I am Dr. Grajdian and I am a professor of media studies and anthropology at Hiroshima University. In my free time, I am doing my best to guide you in building up a life of contentment, joy, and fulfillment while applying lessons learned in school to overcome the difficulties, challenges, and insecurities of the real world. Today's video is part of a new series on life at 45. As I have entered the second half of the 45th year of my life, there are specific thoughts and emotions I have been experiencing. While these are insights coming from myself as a woman, mother, and citizen, I deeply hope that they might be helpful and useful for men as well. In today's video on Life at 45, I share my thoughts on what I wish I could tell my younger self in my teenage years, when I was both helpless and very, very lonely due to circumstances in my family of origin completely beyond my control. In doing so, I am making peace with my distant past and allowing my inner teenager to heal so that I can move forward in my life with serenity and dignity. And now, first things first, that is two important disclaimers. The first disclaimer serves to strongly emphasize the fact that this YouTube channel, the School of Love, is not part of my educational and research activities at Hiroshima University. It is nonetheless part of my privilege, joy, and sense of duty to propagate and implement knowledge, information, as well as motivation and inspiration outside the limited framework of academic endeavors. Together, we can build up a better tomorrow for as many of us as possible. The second disclaimer relates to the fact that I'm a trained musician and musicologist, not a psychologist, therapist, or counselor. The ideas I'm sharing in my videos reflect my deep-going preoccupation with life, my own life and other people's lives, and express the results of my experiences, research, and for better or for worse, my failures, as well as my recovery from those failures, recovery which is continuously ongoing. The ideas expressed in the videos on this channel, named the School of Love, cannot and may not and must not replace the consultation with specialists in whichever areas of your life you might have questions or you might struggle with. If you are new to the channel, at this moment I would like to ask you to please consider subscribing, sharing, liking, commenting. Thank you very, very much. This helps us not only with that mysterious algorithm which seems to dominate the YouTube galaxy, but also with contributing to the expansion of the community of humans doing their best to impact positively the world and those around them by discovering their authentic selves and living life wholeheartedly. Thanks again. So, what precisely would I like to tell my younger self? So my teenager, my inner teenagers, so that is starting with 11, 12 years old until 19, 20 years old. First of all, I would tell her to keep on reading as many books as possible. Due to circumstances in my so-called family of origin, in which I don't want to go, at least not publicly and even less on this YouTube channel, I was very socially awkward. I still am, but at least now I know it. Back then I didn't know it, so it was very difficult, actually almost impossible, to make friends, at least to make friends with normal kids or normal teenagers. And well, I was very good in school, although I had essentially no friends and I essentially didn't interact with anyone outside the classroom and outside of my classmates. Again, this was this wasn't a choice, this was just how things were. And I never doubted that they might be different. And what I wish I could tell my younger self back then is that there are circumstances which cannot be changed at the moment, but things will improve, things will change as soon as I will become a full-fledged grown-up and I will leave the parental home, and I will start making a life of my own. And the only thing, the only constructive thing I could do back then was to read as much as possible and to keep on learning Italian and, well, Japanese as I did, and but reading and going to cinema when I could do it, when I could afford it, which was seldom, but it was actually good. So it was already the 90s, 1990s in Romania. It was after the so-called revolution of in December 1989, and things started to change. But the beginning, the first half of the 1990s, was a huge chaos, which still lingered in the second half of 1990s. But things started to improve. The first half of 1990s was a total chaos, with people really not knowing what was going on, and you cannot just change. Grown-ups cannot just change within a couple of months, weeks, months, or even years from a system in which one had to obey some sort of abstract authority towards actually becoming an agent of one's own life, towards taking responsibility and developing agency for one's own life. So I'm not blaming the citizens, I'm not blaming the Romanian population of the 1990s for the chaos in the country, for the chaos in the society. I'm just explaining how things were. And as a teenager, we are very strong. Again, the second very important, crucial period of life, when the brain is developing and when the future self, the grown-up self, is actually building up itself, right? And that was chaos. Like after the controlled chaos, after the controlled calamity of the 1980s and the communists, the second phase in the 1990s came, and that wasn't, it was equally bad, but in a different manner. And for someone like me, caught in this chaos both outside and inside the, so outside meaning the larger society and inside meaning the so-called family of origin, I grew up very, those years were very, very difficult, very difficult. And the only thing which kept me moving forward were the books. So I read a lot, and I would say this is what saved me. This is when I discovered the novel Martin Eden by Jack London, which essentially became the first self-help book or self-growth book or self-development book of my life. In that book, in Martin Eden, Jack London, the author, describes the struggles motivated by love of the main character to overcome his condition and to attain the status, the financial, the social status, which would enable him to, well, to pursue a girl young lady he had fallen in love with. So apart from the romantic dimension, there are some very clear guidelines from the experience of the main character, which showed me the manner in which I could build up, for instance, discipline, and how to set up goals, and how to pursue those goals even when they seem out of reach due to current circumstances. The book helped me tremendously. I still have at least two copies of it. One in Japan and one in Romania, because it is so crucial, because it is a symbol of hope and of faith in the future. It actually showed me that things can change if one takes the initiative and if one takes responsibility for one's own goals and for one's own pathways towards achieving those goals. Of course, it wasn't as easy as I put it now, because I was still a minor, so I wasn't yet 18, 19 years old, and I was still completely dependent on my family of origin. But that book created for me essentially the foundation for who I am today. And this is what I would like to convey to my younger self, to my inner teenager of those roaring 1990s in Romania, is that keep on reading as many books as you can. Go to the library, borrow as many books as you can, and keep on reading. Things will get better. And this is the foundation which will enable you to move forward, to become independent, to become autonomous, to build up a life of your own, and to become, in your turn, a model and a lighthouse for those coming after you. There were other books which impacted very profoundly and decisively my development back then when I was a teenager. But Martin Eden by Jack London, which was published for the first time, I think, somewhere in the 1910s, so long time ago, but it had such a power on my younger self that I had to mention it here. So keep on reading, keep on learning, and everything will be okay eventually. So I hope this helps. I hope I could deliver some powerful, some inspiring insights into how to talk to our younger selves, virtually speaking, so that we can make peace with that past and learn to live in the present and move forward towards a future which actually we can influence and co-create by ourselves. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being there today too. And I'm looking forward to welcoming you very soon again. Love and peace to you all.